Crysis Remastered is exactly what it says on the tin, a new paint job of the classic 2007 sandbox shooter. And although it's a remaster of one of the most notorious computer melting video games, it doesn't look as mind-boggling as you'd think, and somehow manages to take some steps backwards. If you've played Crysis 1 before, you'll know exactly what to expect here. It's the same game. I'll go into the difference momentarily, but if you haven't played the game before, then I can let you know that it's an incredibly fun sandbox experience that stands the test of time for the most part. You're dropped into a jungle in enemy territory with a super suit. It comes with cool superpower abilities like invisibility, super speed, high jump, super strength, and an armor mode that minimizes damage. The physics and AI are incredibly fun to play around with. Throwing enemies into flimsy buildings is hilarious, coming up with creative kills is gratifying, and both stealth and loud combat can be exciting. If enemies see you go invisible, they'll wildly shoot around where they think you are. Enemies patrol throughout the island in unexpected locations, and sometimes even fully camouflaged. If you want to successfully be stealthy, you'll actually need to constantly pay attention. Also, pulling out your binoculars doesn't instantly mark all enemies so that you can follow them through walls, like in most modern stealth games. If anything, the AI can sometimes be a bit too observant actually. I had a few frustrating moments where they spotted me from a questionable distance. The engine is great. The game has beautiful destruction and vegetation. Crawling through lush bushes and shooting tree trunks to watch them collapse is so cool. As for the story, I found it to be mildly interesting, not the main attraction of the game. Okay, so what's different? The graphics got an overhaul. For the most part, textures, shadows, and lighting look a lot better. I also personally like the more green, saturated look all the vegetation has. The game looks gorgeous. Although not as gorgeous as I'd expect from the legendary Crysis. I think there are better looking games out there nowadays, but that's quite a minor complaint, as it still looks really beautiful. Although strangely enough, if you make some direct comparisons to the original, some of the graphics took steps back. Some geometry and underwater effects look worse. Strange, but not really an issue. Now the biggest problem I had with the remaster is the removal of manual saves. The game now forces you to a checkpoint system, which means if you die, you're at the mercy of autosaving and have to hope you aren't sent too far back. Crysis 1 at its core is a sandbox game all about messing around and experimenting. I remember I used to quicksave in the original so I could try encounters out in different ways. That's now gone. Perhaps to prevent save scumming, but that should have been left to higher difficulties. In the end, I think it's a good remaster. If you haven't played the first Crysis, I would recommend this version. On the other hand, if you have already played the original, I'd say only grab this one if you love the game and want another excuse to replay it. Thank you for watching everybody. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you next time.